Hello and welcome to Get in the Robot with Fred and Mark. I'm Fred.
I'm Mark.
I remembered the name of the podcast, so that's already a pretty good start. After a tumultuous start to this episode, trying to get my device hooked up to the TV so we could even watch it, we finally got it by hooking my phone up to it and watching it cropped where notifications came on the screen multiple times. It was not the ideal viewing experience.
Are you sure about that?
Would it be better? Did you
Would have
enjoy
better with more notifications.
just some random YouTube notifications?
I'm just glad the notifications came from the top of the screen and not covering our subtitles.
Right. Yeah, that would be obnoxious. Thankfully, not too many interruptions there. But so we saw that Shinji survived. We got to see him get nailed again in the chest before they quickly drag him out of there.
He was boiling in there.
Everything was melting. You saw the skyscraper in the distance that we saw got nailed, just like completely melted into the ground.
He's in like plastic liquid, right?
Yes.
Like that's the deal.
No,
and then he's boiling in plastic.
No, the liquid inside of the pods is LCL fluid, which is like an amniotic fluid.
Oh, okay. But it's not plastic based.
No, the plastic based stuff was what they were using to trap the Avas. Like it floods the room with liquid plastics that way it hardens.
Okay.
And then stops them in place.
Just like that smell of like melting plastic as he's like boiling in there.
Feeling everything the Ava's feeling and then also smelling burning plastic.
So he was not having a good time.
He wasn't having the best time. They say they're going to give him a heart massage.
Yeah,
it's like,
I put that in my notes.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you would imagine a heart massage being.
Yeah, it's not a heart massage. It's the shock paddles, basically. I have here written in my notes that they pull Shinji out like a toy in a claw machine as he's returned back to the Nerf headquarters. And then they stick Shinji in something that has written on it "Icy Box Rescue," which I thought was cute. It's like a little cryostasis thing.
Oh, okay.
So Shinji failed, as we saw. He was set up for failure, I would say.
This is one of the few times so far, like... well, I don't know. It wasn't his fault in this situation.
Right.
He was going to get nailed with that beam no matter what. But my whole thing is like, they couldn't just send him up like a few minutes or seconds after the beam had fired.
Well, so...
It just happened simultaneously.
No, so that goes on to the next scene we saw, which is Misato's in charge now. Misato's like in the command room, like, okay, send in test dummy number 1. As soon as test dummy number 1 shows up, eviscerated. And then
I'm sad we didn't really get to see it pop because it was a balloon.
I also, so like she sends in multiple dummy devices, right, to get caught. And so the first one is that balloon. The second is like a train, which is non-threatening, and so it doesn't see anything. And then a long-range sniper rifle type thing.
Like a mortar.
Like a mortar launcher laser thing.
Yeah.
That as soon as it fires, the angel takes notice and then also eviscerates it.
Blows it up.
Showing her that like, okay, there's like a reaction time to the threat. And what I wanted to see was more failed situations where she's throwing expensive hardware out and seeing it get like just eviscerated by the angel. I love that scene so much with Misato, and every scene just right after where she is in control of the situation, is quickly problem solving, goes to Gendo, and I forget Gendo's assistant's name, for approval. And I didn't write down the percentage. Did you write down the percentage chance of survival? It was like 8.9 or something.
Yeah, they quote something way higher, and it's like 8.2% chance of success, and they're talking about how that's the highest chance of success yet.
She's like, it sounds pretty good. Like, that seems like it might work. Yeah, and so he's like, I have no problems with this. Like, you have my approval. It's like, okay, cool. And so she goes to Ritsuko and is like, we need a high-power positron rifle that can go this distance. And then they like show the laser that they have. Is like, yeah, this one can't do it that far. She's like, I know. That's why I've written up a proposal to go to the prototype boys and take their crazy rifle. And it's just like, she's so like business lady polite in every interaction she's having, like showing the paper, being like, we filled out all the appropriate paperwork and we are requisitioning this.
The joys of red tape.
And like, she's just like dancing across it. She's like not being struggled. or isn't hitting barriers as she's
Right.
like
Nobody's
making.
telling her no. They're only hesitant in that like they don't know if it's physically possible.
Right. Yeah.
Which is cool, yeah. But they all go along with the plan.
Yeah. So she borrows the prototype cannon. They say either they say it or Ritsuko says it, I forget, but they say that it's 180 million kilowatts of power to fire the shot once. And they're like, what are we gonna do? Like, where are we gonna get that kind of power? And she says, all of Japan.
Just casually.
Just casually. And so there's some propaganda on the screen, some sort of government whitewashing of the like, there's going to be an expected outage at this time. We ask that you conserve your power and be prepared for this. It's like not telling people, hey, by the way, there's an alien monster angel thing quickly destroying the planet. Just like, excuse me for the inconvenience. Sorry for the inconvenience, but we're going to have to turn off the lights for a few minutes.
It kind of makes me wonder what the civilian product of Nerve is for them to generate as much funding as they have and, have access to. Like, do they make microwaves in just the civilian world? Do they make light bulbs?
I believe there isn't a civilian product. I think that the last of the world's large amounts of money are in organizations like Sele, which they have mentioned a couple of times. And like, that was the bunch of obelisks that he was having the Skype call with. That Gendo was having the Skype call with. I think they have like all of the money, I think, at this point. And so everything Nerve does is getting money from there. As far as what the people do, like, I think people still just kind of sort of work jobs and like capitalism continues in the way that it has.
It seems like it. I just want to give a shout out to all the brave men and women who were engineers and electricians to create all that wiring.
I also have that note because that is my favorite shit in this episode is seeing all of the hardware strewn, like miles of like sewer-sized cables of electrical conduits going across all of Japan, and just the idea of like all the hardware that had to be created, all of the people that had to set it up, all of the people who were doing every aspect of like making sure that like everything is properly cooled, everything is properly hooked up, and just the sacrifice and effort that goes into a single firing of this laser.
And I like that it doesn't feel like just a hand waving, oh, this is untested technology, and then it just automatically works in the next scene. They go through some of those considerations.
Yeah.
Yes, just like the idea of cooling these systems.
I love you hear all of the people talking about the independent temperature of it. You can hear engineers talking to other engineers. It feels so considered for every aspect of this. Did you watch Shin Godzilla?
No.
Shin Godzilla is great. It's also Hideki Anno, the creator of Evangelion, directed that. And it's my favorite Godzilla film that is really only barely about Godzilla. It's way more about like the government response to Godzilla, and again the red tape and like logistics of
a government response.
Kind of.
Okay.
Like, how do we respond to this gigantic monster? Like, we don't have the policies in place for tackling giant lizard, but and so I feel like it's an encapsulation of all this kind of stuff that I love so much in this episode of like governmental oversight working together and like organizations properly following protocol to handle a crazy situation. And in Evangelion, they're covering it up while they do
it. And it grounds the universe. It makes it feel more believable in the story. Yeah, I appreciate that. It kind of gets you more involved in the storyline.
We see before the entire country gets wired up, we see the kids, Toji and Kensuke, and a couple of unnamed children have snuck out of the camp bases and stuff to the shelter to go and see what is happening. And they see both Unit 00 and 01 show up. Part of the mountain with all of this like forest like slides out of the way to like have these robots come up.
Fake mountain.
Fake everything, right? Like it is all this manufactured, concealed like civilization that is all like a hiding place for Nerve, ostensibly. What are the notes you got on this?
Shinji becomes conscious, but of course he's hesitant.
Yeah, we see Shinji in the icebox. And Misato is like, we're doing a mission at midnight or at 00 in the morning. Prepare yourself. And then the next shot is he's in the hospital. He's like, get out of bed to get back into bed.
I am glad that Shinji does not spend too much time debating whether or not, like, he clearly doesn't want to go back and pilot the Eva, but he's just like, I guess because he's already experienced that type of blast,
Yeah.
he doesn't want Misato, Rei to experience that on her own, or
yeah, that's why he ultimately decides to, but she's like, you need to do it. I didn't take notes on the conversation itself, but like she comes in with a delicious looking breakfast and says, here's the operation that we're going to do. Here's the timeline. Like, get ready. And he's like, I don't want to do it. And she's like, fine, then stay in bed. I'll do it for you. But one of the, I didn't catch the exact line, but it was like, he says to her, you've never been in a battle like that. And so you don't know what it's like.
But what does he know?
He doesn't. That's the thing. Like,
the first scene that we see her in, she's all jacked up in that hospital bed.
Yeah. Just double checking.
So for him to say that, I was just like,
right.
He's just scared.
Yes.
And it comes off
and he's
that
projecting.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she's like, then stay in bed. And then
Fool.
But she's like, here's a new plug suit. Like, don't show up half awake. And he notices that he's completely naked and gets very embarrassed. It's cute. So let's see. The other note I had that we skipped over, sorry, is when they're doing the government propaganda over the television saying that there's a not propaganda, but the like cover-up story that it's going to be a blackout. We do see Toji and Kensuke playing Sega Saturn.
Oh, okay.
And I love that.
You love that for them?
It's not the Nintendo 64. It's not the PlayStation. They're playing the Sega Saturn.
It was just larger in Japan, right? It was a bigger hit.
It's also Sega had a lot to do with the production of Evangelion. And so there's like a few spots where there's Sega product placement kind of even in the show. Although in like the movies, they're not playing Sega shit. They're playing like the Bandai Wonder Swan, which is a system that I don't think came out here. I'm pretty sure it didn't. It was like a weird Game Boy handheld that you could play either horizontally or vertically. It had like extra sets of buttons. It was neat. And it ran at 50 frames per second instead of 60.
Oh, dang.
Nobody cares about that.
No, that's like PAL, right?
Yeah, it's PAL, but it was Japan only.
Ah.
And in Japan, it's NTSC J, which is 60 frames or 60 hertz. Nobody cares about this. I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk about the Sega Saturn for a second. I love the Sega Saturn. It's a good video game system. You're looking at me with like contempt. Sorry. Yes, they call it Operation Yashima. I forget what the mountain is that they're doing it on top of.
Is that like the Flaming Lips song?
No, that's Yoshimi.
Oh, okay.
Because I wrote in my notes, Shinji is awkward. That's not helpful. Sorry, not good notes.
Oh, what about that comment you had about the worlds, like when they're shutting off Japan's light, or that later?
So that's actually, I think, like the next note. Sorry, you can hear the paper. Yeah, lights out for Japan. We see a orbital view of the entirety of the nation of Japan as the lights all turn off, starting in Tokyo, moving out to like Kyoto and then north to Sapporo, and like just covering the entire place in darkness. But we could also see a very large landmass to the west. Is that right? That would be like China and Korea and Russia and all that. And you see like how few lights there are, period, like in the orbital view. And so it really goes to show like this is how much of the world has been devastated in that first attack or in second impact. So whatever happened to this world, like a lot of it got real messed up.
That's messed up.
We get a cute heart-to-heart moment with Rei and Shinji as he's like, aren't you scared as we're doing this? She's like, I do this for my bonds. He's like, the bond with my father? Is like, no, the bond's with all humanity. And he's like, you're so cool. Like that's the line he says, like, you're so cool. I can't imagine what it's like to feel that way. And she says, that's all I have. And he's like, what do you mean? And then like she gets up and goes and she says, sayonara. Sayonara, which is like goodbye, not see you later, not bye, but goodbye. And gets in the thing. And my notes are, the electrical shit is so cool, so much hardware, miles of cables, so many people. But
go on what you said about just the usage of sayonara, because I guess I was unfamiliar with that.
Just the idea of like when you imagine you're going off for a mission
Mm-hmm.
As they are, you wouldn't say goodbye. That's like way too final.
That's like telling someone that's going to go on
Yeah.
stage, good
Yeah,
luck.
that's what you would say. Is like good luck, or like see you after this, or
It's
like
kind of a jinx, or kind of a, what do you call it, a curse, or
kind of, but like goodbye is just like
it's a bad omen.
I don't think it's a bad omen. It's like I'm not coming back. Goodbye.
Very final.
Like I'm gonna go finish this mission, and it's gonna finish me. Like she says goodbye, as in there's no coming back. The name of the episode I think is Rei II, and I don't know if there's any reason that should mean anything to you at this point.
Maybe she's like reborn, or like,
Maybe like a new Rei, yeah. Well, we do kind of see that towards the end of the episode. But yeah, so Shinji is told to line up the shot and pull the trigger.
memorize the manual.
Well, she's like, it was in the manual. He's like, yeah. And he's like, and so this will work? And Misato's like, theoretically, yeah, it'll work out. It'll be fine.
And then, of course, the first shot doesn't work.
Yeah.
But again, it's not Shinji's fault. Like, Shinji didn't miss. He didn't throw the shot.
Yeah.
It's literally the angel anticipated the blast.
Yep.
But that was a cool, like, warping of the beams.
Yes, it's like they had their own, like, gravitational fields almost to them, and so they, like, twist and twirl together. I wanted to point out that we see when he's lining up the shot, and there's a bunch of people talking as they're, like, the engineers of the situation, that the shot is being corrected not only for gravity, but also for the curvature of the Earth, because it's so far.
Right.
And it's like, oh, that's so cool.
Good time to kind of reiterate that this is a
It's a sniper
shot.
rifle. Yeah, it's a sniper rifle with a positron cannon that has never been fired before. It's all theoretical, but like they have it so designed down to the distance of the Earth means that you have to take into account the curvature of the Earth, and that's crazy. There's sniper drop in games, right? But you don't have to worry about like the curvature of the Earth as you're doing it.
Shinji's a camper noob.
and Rei's job is simply to watch over, or is to protect him.
Well, and one thing that was kind of mentioned when Rei joins Shinji, she's joining them the orange Eva, I forget the
Zero,
the
prototype.
But they give her Eva that shield, which is,
it was used as like an entering orbit thing, like the bottom of a spaceship.
And theoretically, it's been plated with a special coating that like helps
electromagnetic or something. Yeah,
some of the blasts. But I mean, thankfully she has it.
Well, so it takes a very long time to fire the second shot. Not for the angel though, who immediately loads into Shinji. Or like there's a gigantic blast and the laser just keeps coming. And Rei holds the shield out to catch it and protect Shinji, because she said, I will do my job. Like, I will protect you. You don't need to worry about the angel attacking. I will protect you. It's my mission. I'll do it. Mm-hmm. Literally the only thing we know about Rei at this point is that she will do the job to the wire, and to the point that like she's holding this shield out and getting blasted. Absolutely melted.
Makes me wonder, like, what at this point, what is Rei's background?
Yeah.
Like, what does she owe the Nerve organization?
What are her bonds to humanity?
Yeah. Like, is it just that she's an orphan, or was she lab grown for this fight?
They say in the previous episode, I think, that all of her history has been wiped.
Mm-hmm.
We will get to see more of who Rei is, but
and that's okay. These are just questions that I want.
But at this point, like, it is ambiguous, and
and I'm thinking about other science fiction media that I've consumed. Even so much as like, was she kidnapped?
Right.
And
why is her hair blue?
So yeah,
no one in this world has blue hair. Everybody has like,
so that's what makes me think of like genetically engineered, genetically altered to kind of more sync with the Eva unit.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting that also came up in the background conversation. That,
oh, right. She could pilot 01, but she needed a higher sync rate because of the precision of this shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at us.
What?
Talking about Evangelion.
That's the podcast. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's providing me such like rich visuals, such rich dialogue that as we're talking about it, I'm remembering more.
Yeah.
The more we talk about it.
You can appreciate that, like, you've watched some anime before,
Yes.
and you've watched some bad anime before. And so that has colored your experience of like what this stuff can be. And like, this show is not perfect. There's the gross shot of like, we see Rei taking off her underwear and stuff to get into the plug suit. It's like, and you said like, gross. Like that's
No, I didn't say gross.
What did you
I
say?
just said that's unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Because it's literally a shot
My
of just like
commentary
her
was that it was
little leg, and then you see her chones come down, and it's just a shot of the panties going down to her ankles.
fully unnecessary shot. Who is this for?
Yeah,
It's like,
even with like her behind the screen, because there's a wider shot where she's behind the screen and she's silhouetted, and clearly she's naked. She's getting into her plug suit.
yeah.
That's fine, like,
Totally.
because it's
But then-
it's more like tasteful, I guess.
And it's almost from Shinji's perspective, who is the
Exactly.
protagonist of the story, the person that we've been following, the person who we've frequently seen the perspective of.
But just
And then it's like, it goes to the other side of the curtain and it's like, hey, here's a little bit for you sickos. Like, that's not necessary. So it's not perfect. It's just far from perfect. It's very problematic at points. But it does give you so much to chew on. And it's nice to watch it in this slow way where we're only watching it once a week / year. And and like I really like having to think a bit more about everything that we just saw, because there is plenty to chew on. So yeah, look at us.
Look at us. We're doing it.
Where did we end off in a recap of what was happening? So she protects Shinji, and Shinji takes the second shot, and it goes right through
that shield,
devastating
right through her Eva.
And the angel, who we didn't even mention, has been drilling directly towards Nerve this entire time. Which, the angel's going straight for Nerve for some reason. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, out of all of possible targets.
Also, all of the angels have been heading towards this specific point, it seems like, haven't they? Sashiel came and attacked this town, Tokyo 3. I wonder why. You had mentioned in one of the first episodes, it's like, so it seemed like it was like attacking or like coming from somewhere. It's like, yeah, it's weird that it's coming from somewhere. I think it's weird that it's going specifically to somewhere. And that somewhere is
I'm just kind of taking it for granted at this point. It's like, oh yeah, of course.
It's like, of course, the story is coming from this perspective. Like, of course, that's what's being attacked. But why? And so that's something that
I've bought into the propaganda at the end.
It's something to chew on. And so fully eviscerates this angel. It's awesome. The coolest angel so far, just by being the simplest in terms of design. But I love the like choral singing that comes from it. And it's just this like floating obelisk, like prism that is just haunting and scary and can kill things immediately. And they take it out.
And you had mentioned the design of the drill was really cool too. And then when the drill powers down, it had a laser tip to kind of give it, I guess, more tooth as it was burrowing. Oh, did you notice that? Because the laser just kind of dissipated as it shut off.
I don't think I noticed that. I'll may have to go back and take a look at that. But I liked the beads that are going around in the spiral, as though that is the thing that is pushing it downwards, which I don't know. Like, it's very simple visually, and so it leaves you to kind of fill in the, like, what does this thing do to function? But it's like a cool consideration that it's like, oh, it's not a normal drill. Also, why does an angel, this like weird being that apparently has some of the DNA of humanity, have things like drills? Like Sachiel, the first angel, is this like big monster looking thing, right?
Yeah.
Then there was the giant penis one, and was there another angel in between? Is this the third angel we've seen?
Maybe this is the third.
Seems weird for 6 episodes. But yeah, it looks nothing like the other ones.
It's been a year since.
It's been a year, in fairness. Well, granted, we have now been on top of it. The last episode we watched was only 3 days ago. Yes. So
awesome.
Good on us. We're right on top of it. Not buffering as hard as we did previously. Yeah, I guess that's only the second individual. So, anyways, Rei has protected Shinji, but gotten real fucked up in the process again. Now she's been hit by the beam that he's like, you don't know what it's like. She knows what it's like now.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We're all on the same playing field. And so he uses his Ava, I think, to forcibly eject her pod.
Yeah.
And in a mirror image of the previous episode,
Where her
Shinji
dad is saving. Well, his dad is saving.
Shinji runs up to the pod, not barehanded, uses gloves. He's a little smarter than his dad. To open the heated pod,
The superheated pod,
to check on her, and he's like crying, and he said, "She's." Does she ask like why you're crying? Or no. Sorry, he gives a little speech, and he's just like,
And she comes to because she's like knocked out, right? Isn't she like?
Yeah.
She's knocked out. He comes to,
and he says, "Don't say that you have nothing, and please don't say goodbye when we're going off on a mission. It's just too sad." And he's like crying, like openly crying. And she's very awkward in the moment. And she says, "I don't know what to do in this situation." Or she's like, "I don't know what I can do in this situation." And he says, "You can smile." Which, men telling women to smile, not fucking necessary. We don't need that. You made that comment when we were watching it. Absolutely
don't
right.
tell her to smile, dude.
But like, she doesn't know what to do. And he offers, I like that he doesn't say, just smile. He says, you can smile.
Right. Yeah, I like that you made that distinction. And the fact that they just survived this battle is a reason to just celebrate being alive, right?
Yeah. And it's awkward. He's awkward. She's awkward, but she smiles. And it's a warm moment. She sees him and sees his father in him for a moment. And like, she lights up.
Smiling.
She beams and she's like, "Oh, now I have another bond." And like, that's where the
nice.
episode ends.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so maybe the name of the episode, Rei II, refers to the growth that she has in like forging another connection. Maybe. The other
Extra Rei.
The first title of the episode, because every episode has two titles, was Decisive Battle, which is also the name of that song that plays throughout. That's just the heavy drums, the dung, 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 dung. And that plays throughout. But that is one of my favorite like musical cues throughout the entire season. It gets used constantly. And they in one of the movies, there's like a Spanish guitar version of that song that is my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Just the coolest.
Neat.
I feel like I've done a lot of talking. I'm sorry. I've had a lot of coffee and
I mean, we're at the end of the episode too. Like that's
But did you have any thoughts that you wanted to go into?
Any parting thoughts? No, I mean, it obviously didn't end as dramatically as the last episode. Yeah. I was kind of excited that Shinji was getting blasted.
You were like, I want to see what happens next.
And so seeing the resolution of all that was nice. Again, we got a really cool fight sequence, and then really cool, just thoughtful like procedure as to how to get the Evas equipped, and the consideration into leading up to that battle.
Yeah, we haven't gotten like a planning the heist kind of episode yet, and that like every episode of the show seems so different,
right?
And I loved that. It felt like the director is like, okay, we're gonna try this kind of episode here. Like, okay, episode 4 is like or episode 3 is the introspective episode where the boy is like lost and like trying to figure out how to come back or whether or not to come back. Then episode 4 is the action episode. And then now this episode is the, okay, less action. Let's figure this out. What do we do?
Don't get me wrong. Like, it makes sense for Shinji to be hesitant and not want to get in the
He's
robot.
A 14-year-old boy who just got laser blasted in the chest.
But for an audience perspective, and at this point in the anime, it's kind of like, I'm glad that they just kind of, because of Rei and his wanting to just, well, if Rei's going to do it, then I should be doing it. the fact that there wasn't too much back and forth. Do I really want to do this? Do I not want to do, like
Shinji in Crisis is a unfortunate constant in the show. It is why the phrase "get in the robot" has become so ubiquitous for this show. Like, Shinji doesn't want to do this. Shinji is a coward. Shinji is also a 14-year-old boy, and he has trouble, and everything is hard. That will be a constant theme throughout the show. Sometimes it'll be wholly unwelcome, but it is also an important part of it. We get to appreciate other aspects of these characters in this world and him through his cowardice, his fear, his stress, his depression.
it didn't feel like backtracking.
No, yeah. It's like this still felt like growth. I mean, him getting up and doing it and then saving Rei and like.
But who's gonna save that breakfast, Fred? Who is gonna save that
He said he
nice
wasn't
breakfast?
hungry. The thing that stuck
And
out.
it doesn't taste the same after sat out for a while.
It's also hospital food, so it's probably not great. But there's something about like the perfect sunny side up egg in that tray in like a little square quadrant. And it's just like, oh man, that's cool. I want that.
You want an egg?
I want like Japanese breakfast with an egg. Also, Japanese breakfast is like not a typical thing either, so that was weird. But
that's why it's hospital food.
Yeah, it's hospital food. That egg was also probably like really runny.
They had some bread. You could sop up the egg in the bread.
That's true. Anywho, still don't know how we're supposed to end this episode. Like every other podcast I've ever done, we've like come up with like a fun catchphrase at the end of it that was just like, or like we have like a way in which it normally ends. But instead, every single time we just kind of stop talking at some point, and I'd love to change that.
We just need that piece of bread to sop up the egg that is the runoff of this podcast, of the remainder of this podcast.
Yeah, sure. We need to find that bread. What is that bread? I guess, anyways.
Well, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
So,
also, now that everything's set up, this is the first episode we've recorded after the show has started airing. And so now we can do the bumper, which is to say, we're on all of the different podcast services that you could think of.
Now we can say that.
If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review because that gets us growth and all of that. But also, I don't care. Like, I don't care about growth. This is just for us. But you can find the podcast and find us at levelselect.cool. And we're on social media and all that jazz. Like, find us at the places that we're at.
Hell yeah.
Is that the end?
I think that's the end.
Okay, that's the end.